The Halfbrick Show.
Welcome to the Halfbrick Show, your favorite podcast about anything related to Halfbrick, including games, chat, news, and weird questions. For example, if Colossatron were to wear pants, would he wear a pair on each module, or would he wear one extra long pair? Let us know in the comments, because this keeps me up at night.
Yeah, I hate that, and I'm scared and intrigued. Thanks, Carmen. I'm Aiden from the customer support team, and thanks so much everyone for joining, listening in with us today. Who do we have the pleasure of chatting with?
Well, we have someone who's joining us today right from a very, very long, infinite corridor. We have Jacob from the Jetpack Joyride team.
Who the brick are you?
Oh, is it Infinite?
Hello, it's me.
Hello, Jacob. Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Yeah,
Could
the usual.
you quickly answer? Sorry, is it actually an infinite corridor? There was a level 2, right? There's a short.
I can't break that law. I don't want to get into that right now.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, I guess Legitimate Research had you signed an NDA. Yeah, we didn't account for that, Aiden.
Sorry, I jumped straight into that question. I didn't even put it on the plan. I was just like, oh. Okay, could you tell us a bit, Jacob, about like what you do at Halfbrick? If you want to go into where you're from and a bit more about yourself?
Yeah, I can give you my whole biography if you want. Like,
Please, yeah, as much as you're
yeah.
willing.
So I'm PM and like designer on Jetpack Joyride. So that's like the Jetpack Joyride 1 and like all the different like SKUs. So like that's also like on like Applicate and all these other ones. But yeah, I'm from Australia. Like a lot of other people here, and yeah, just been on the Jetpack team for a very long time.
Nice. Care to divulge how long a very long time is?
Honestly, I've lost track. I think it's let me do some quick maths. It's like eight or so years, I think now.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
would have
pretty
been
good.
2018, I think, when I joined the team.
That's actually, yeah, that's pretty good. That means you've been across like, oh, I'm gonna show my own lack of knowledge about how long Jetpack's been around for. That's the majority of Jetpack's life now, though, wouldn't it? 8 years. It's been like hasn't been out for 16 years, has it?
I think it's like 14. I think it might be 15.
It's getting close. Yeah.
Yeah, 15 or 14. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man, I get confused with all the anniversaries that come up for these games. So
There's so many.
Yeah. Okay, and PM for the game, that's product manager, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever you want it to be, it could be product manager. Yeah, it's product manager. People always like project
Prime
manager,
Minister.
which I think is quite a different thing, but yeah.
Yeah, the
Product
prime minister,
owner.
product owner. Yeah. But it's like the lead kind of thing, right? So manages the product. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Okay. So do you have? Oh, I was going to jump into Halfbrick, but we'll go vague. Do you have a favorite game of all time that kind of inspired you a bit?
Like inspired me or like favorite game of all time?
Let's go favorite game of all
game.
time. Yeah.
Okay, right. So in terms of like game that I'm always coming back to, I'd probably have to say maybe like the Elder Scrolls 3, so Morrowind.
Oh,
That always like ticks like all the boxes that I like in a game, right? So like really good storytelling, like narrative, like environment, soundtrack, like everything in there. It still like hits, and
yeah.
I don't know if it's aged too well these days, but yeah, the combat system definitely maybe not, but definitely I'm always
When was the
like,
last time you
revisiting
came
it.
back to it?
I mean, I say that, but like maybe like 6 months ago, I did an actual
That's
playthrough.
still pretty recent.
Yeah.
It's a good long playthrough. So I'm like, don't be playing too often.
How long does the playthrough go for? Like when you start a new one?
How long is a piece of string? Like if you're just doing like the main quest line, I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks. But
Cool.
yeah, that's like no side quests or anything. But
Oh dang, I haven't.
hoping for a remaster at some point, like they did with Oblivion. That would make my day well and truly.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be so good.
I mean, have you played the Morrowind, Carmen? I haven't gotten onto it. I've tried, but
I have, yeah.
you have
Never finished it. Yeah. But I like to do backseating a lot with friends, and for me that's sometimes the joy of games, that you can share them with other people. So that's why I'm addicted to gameplays on YouTube. So people, if you don't like the combat system, watch a gameplay on YouTube. There are some without commentary, and they are very, very good.
That's true. I might do that. Jacob, you might have to do one for me at some point so I can just watch
Oh,
Morrowind
please do.
playthrough.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's probably even worse watching it because like it's like a roll, like a dice roll based combat system, right? So you can be standing in front of an enemy like whacking a sword, but like maybe no hits will land because your attack is so low.
Oh,
It
is it
just looks
actually
janky.
RNG like that?
Yeah. So like it'll kind of feed like your stats will feed into it and everything. It's
Wow.
I don't know. I
Okay.
like it.
Yeah, I just
It's an
my
acquired taste.
my reference is Oblivion and Skyrim. They did actually make a fair few changes then.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, did that inspire? Well, did you say that like inspired you at all to get into the games industry, or what's inspired you to get there?
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, so I remember like probably like in terms of like influential games, maybe I sunk a lot of hours into like the original like Crash Bandicoot trilogy on
Ooh.
PS1.
Oh,
Yeah.
Same with like the original like Spyro games as well. So Spyro the Dragon, shout out.
Oh,
In terms of like
yes.
nostalgic and like maybe planting that seed, definitely I attribute a good amount to those guys. Yeah.
Would you say
you-
you have a
platformer.
preference, Spyro or Crash? Sorry, Carmen jumping in.
Oh no.
You don't have one.
I think Spyro, if I had to choose.
Oh.
Yes. You want to know what? No, I won't. I won't do another Ratchet and Clank plug.
No,
We'll leave it at that.
I was going to ask your question actually. So what's your opinion on Ratchet and Clank?
Because
Honestly,
Insomniac, you know.
yeah, honestly, never played too much Ratchet and Clank. Yeah,
That's
I was
great.
a late bloomer to the PlayStation 2. So
We're gonna have to wrap up this
yeah.
this recording. Sorry,
Sorry,
everyone.
guys.
You're out.
See you next time, I guess.
No, that's fine. It's fine. That means there's just a chance to. If you haven't played a game, it's a good philosophy. If you've never played a game yet, like Morrowind, and I'd say this all the time, we put games on the list to play. It just means you can experience it. Like you still got the chance. Yeah. I mean, there are a few Halfbrick games that, like Radical Repelling, I actually didn't touch before starting here, and I love Radical Repelling. That one's great.
Sacrilege.
I know. I really shouldn't be outing myself on the pod like this.
It's just like a vertical Jetpack Joyride. It's the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Did you have any did you have any beef with it when it came out? Were you
No. I was QA at the time, so I'm like, I always had the thought of like, what if you just like turn your device rotating so it's landscape, so you can just play it like an endless runner, and it's actually much more difficult that way. Go figure. So
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there is like gravity acting on the characters a bit, but I don't know. That one's really good. Great example of that. We'll get you to play Ratchet and Clank one day. I might play Morrowind.
Yeah.
At this point, I think that we
little.
should release a newsletter with recommendations.
I would actually love that.
All of our guests. Yeah, guys, if you're listening to this, please leave it on the comments if you want to get a small newsletter with all of the games Aidan has on his wish list and has never played.
Yep.
So
recommended by Halfbrick team members, of course, which means there's a bit of importance behind it.
Yeah. So moving on from the games that inspired you, we would like to know a bit about what you're working on at the moment, because the jobs at Halfbrick are so diverse from one another that we always like asking this question because we never truly know.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, fair point. Yeah, so probably the biggest chunk of work that we're currently working on is we're actually super secret rebuilding the game completely from scratch. So for those who are in the know, like some of the original games, like Dan the Man, like Jetpack Joyride, like even Monster Dash and Fruit Ninja previously, they were on like our own in-house game engine. And that's obviously like back in the day, it kind of made sense to do that. But now like with all these like really awesome kind of like first party engines like Unity, Unreal, it kind of makes sense to move across to those kind of engines, like because we don't have to maintain them anymore, more or less. So yeah, we're currently rebuilding the game from scratch in Unity. So that includes like porting over all the numerous jetpacks, vehicles, gadgets, all the game modes, events, like everything pretty much, while also making sure like the game mechanics feel exactly the same, which is good fun because there's like 15 or so years of like legacy code involved as
Yeah.
well. So like having, I don't know, I feel comfortable saying like maybe hundreds of people have worked on Jetpack at some point. Yeah, that's really really fun challenge.
Dang.
Yeah.
The challenge sounds right. That's a huge amount of content to bring over. We've seen it
It's
on the
pretty fun.
customer support side. We see how much there is in that game. And
Yeah,
that's
I
just
think
on
we did the tally. It was something like I think 500 individual like unique cosmetics, including like all the vehicle skins, jetpacks, costumes, like all those things.
dang.
Yeah, it's a good amount of stuff.
Mm.
If you have a favorite one, vehicle skin, or in general, your favorite set of cosmetics.
Oh yeah.
My favorite set maybe would be, so there's like a clown costume which looks like innocent enough, but if you pair it with there's like a bleeding heart jetpack for Halloween, which kind of really pushed the edge of what I think we could meet in like a relatively family friendly game. So it's like a jetpack, it's like a heart that shoots out like a red liquid. And if you pair that with the clown costume, it looks really sinister, like it looks really Halloween. Because like it becomes like a creepy clown kind of thing.
Are
Mm.
you
That's
are you a
usually my
horror
go-to.
movie fan?
I'm gonna say I'm a horror movie fan. I just think it looks really cool.
Ah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
they didn't specify what the red liquid was. You were just like, well,
I think
no one
the
knows.
description, like it actually specifies like it's like a cornstarch mixture. So there's no reference
Yeah.
of like
Oh yeah, that's right.
any
Yeah.
anything bad, right?
Yeah, which is pretty sick.
That works for me.
Yeah.
That
If
works
it
for
works for
me.
the rating as well.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So best outfit, but would you have also your go-to gadget combo? Like what fills all three gadget slots for you on an optimal run?
Ooh, breaking the bank for the third slot. Let's go.
Yeah, well, assuming so. Assuming you've
Yeah.
respectfully purchased an in-app
Yeah, that's it.
product.
I haven't opened up my developer menu and given myself access.
No, of course.
I think it kind of depends on what you're aiming for, right, in a run. But I think my go-to in terms of like if I'm trying to get the best distance would have to be, it's usually like Disappinator, Gravity Belt, and I guess if I had the third slot, maybe air barriers. But
Oh yeah.
like I could also swap in air barriers for like coin magnet just to get extra coins. Depends if I'm trying to farm coins or not. But yeah, Disappinator is always slept on, but it saves so many lives.
Okay. Have you got stats for things like how many people are using each gadget? Is that a thing? Do we know that?
I'm sure it is. Have I looked at it? Probably not.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we have that data somewhere for sure.
It's just when you brought up the air barriers, I actually thought they would have been slept on because I never used them. I was like, why? These are just shoes. When I played the
No.
game for the first time, I didn't realize that they give him the actual lift, and so
Give you aura, Aiden. You don't care
Oh,
about Barry's
yeah.
aura?
he's got plenty as it is. You know?
No,
Here I
he
am
needs
aura
more.
maxing with my gravity belt and air barriers.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Got that
Exactly.
drip.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I'm definitely in the wrong on that. I just thought other people may have had the same opinion that they were just shoes. All good.
No.
No, clearly not.
Consider yourself educated.
Yeah. So you learn something new on the show all the time.
Exactly.
Okay. Did you have an event? Let's say from all this. So you got the fit, we got the outfit. We're going to go play an event. There's heaps of them in Jetpack. What's been the most difficult one for you to either design or implement? Crossovers, anything like that?
Ooh, if you had to go like difficulty, I'm gonna say maybe like in terms of like technical like implementation and stuff, maybe like a Ghostbusters event. Just because we had to like add a bunch of like custom behaviors to certain things. Like, I mean, I could just be contradicting myself, but like we created a new like intro sequence for Barry. So like the vehicle like smash through wall, like that was all like hard coded in the game, right? So there was no concept of like how do we let Barry in another way kind of thing. And we really wanted to do like because like the intro area was like the fire station like headquarters from Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
So we really wanted him to like slide down the fire pole. Like that'll look really cool.
Ew.
So like even adding that, I think took longer than we expected. Something as simple as that, right? But like that also coupled with like all the like extra content and stuff, like the custom effect for like the proton pack and everything was pretty bespoke as well.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of just maybe implementation, I go out on a limb and say the Ghostbusters event.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair.
Well, it
That
looked
shows.
amazing,
Yeah.
and it was
Yeah, it was really great to work on. Yeah.
yeah, and
Mm.
extremely fun to play as well. In that note, do you have any cool anecdotes that you can share with the pod during all of your years in Jetpack? Maybe some bug that took a lot to solve but was really, really fun, or I don't know, some behind the scenes content about
Ooh.
a skin or something.
I don't know. There's so many funny bugs that have popped up. Maybe like I have a couple of like Easter eggs, maybe that might not be super
Mm.
obvious to like
Mm.
new players. So maybe like the most well known one is like, so you have like your head starts at the start of the run, like your blue and the purple one, like the head start and super head start. If you
Mm.
actually tap both of them at the same time, you'll get like a hidden like orange head start,
What?
which I think is like just both of the distances added together. So it's like a crazy long head start, which is pretty
Mm.
interesting. That was actually
What?
I don't know if it was a bug or rather it was like a feature that was left in the code, but you originally could only like activate it if you tapped both buttons within one frame.
Oh
Um,
my gosh.
so yeah, like I don't know, a couple of years ago, maybe we just made it so as long as you press the buttons while the buttons are on screen, kind of thing.
Is this
So that
public?
was the thing.
Do other people know much about this? I've never heard this. This is the first time I'm hearing it.
I don't know. Only OGs would know this, Aiden.
Wow. Okay.
A
Well,
few
That
people.
makes
I was
sense.
OG on the iPod Touch, but I wasn't. Yeah, I've never. Wow.
Yeah, but like
First
it was
year varies,
a
now
hidden head
this.
start that never was used in like unless for this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Incredible. I'm gonna have to go try that as well.
I think you also technically get charged for both of them as well. Like your coins
Well,
will
yeah,
it'll add up the coins for both of them too. So
that makes sense. I was probably
buy
being too
beware.
cheap. I'm like, I'm not spending my coins on a head start. I can earn it.
Head starts. What the hell?
I'll take
That's
the
right.
risk now.
You take the yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's your favorite character from like the what do we call it, the Barryverse? That's what we call it on the Discord, or JJ specifically? If you got one.
Ooh, favorite character. I mean, like I don't want to be cliche and just say Barry. I mean, Barry is great.
He is
I don't know.
pretty.
Maybe like maybe Craig. I'd
Craig's
have to
up there.
say Craig's up
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah.
Just I don't know. I just don't want to give it to Barry because I feel like everyone just says Barry, right? Craig
Yeah.
doesn't get enough credit, I think.
No, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. So the Barry side of things comes up a bit on the podcast.
Yeah.
So I understand why you might have gone there. Dan, obviously, as well. Do you have a preference, Team Dan or Team Barry if they fought?
Ooh. Like who would win in a fight or who I would back in a fight?
I'd say just who you'd back. The question of who
Oh
wins,
yeah, okay.
we've had that.
I'd back Barry 100%.
Back
Rather,
Barry.
Oh, that's
He's got
great.
that
Because
like
most
that
people
80s
choose
action
that.
hero vibe going.
Yeah.
And,
Are you implying you don't think he'd win though, but you'd back him?
I don't know. It's to be determined who would win. So
Okay.
yeah.
Maybe if we keep asking this question enough, Carmen, we can get like
Yeah.
a Dan versus Barry game at some point. I don't know how it would work, but
I am just throwing it out there. Like one of the characters does have a machine gun jetpack though. So it's like
no, that's a good point.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we
I mean,
have
they
heard
can
that
race together
Mm,
on Jetpack Joyride Racing. So
It's true.
that's true. That's true. We have heard that I don't know if you were involved, but Barry does get flamed sometimes in the Dan the Man side of things as being one of the weaker characters in Dan the Man.
Yeah, that's fair.
You didn't have any input on that? I think that was
Like it's like it makes sense if you have like a Dan the Man game, you have to make Barry seem bad because you can't take the glory away from the main character of the game, right? Like I would do the same if Barry was in Jetpack Joyride. I'd nerf the hell out of him, like
yeah, that's fair. You wouldn't want to give
make him slower
any
or
other.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's totally fair. I think it's one of those it's one of those chicken or the egg kind of debates. Dan versus Barry. There's never going to be a definitive until we get I don't know who would make that call. Maybe Shaz if we ever get the CEO on the pod. Who knows? I'd love to hear his take anyway.
I feel like those two, however, are so chaotic that in one fight, Barry would win, but then in the next one, Dan would win. So we would need to run some kind of crazy testing with statistics. We would need to run an entire simulation to actually predict the chaos that is Barry's stick phrase.
Yeah, the other problem is they're both kind of wild cards. So would they even fight each other? If put into arena, would they not? Maybe they might help each other out. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Maybe they go for a beer.
We have seen, yeah.
Yeah, they both like that.
Yeah.
Maybe we are asking the wrong questions here, Aiden. You are really are making us rethink the podcast, Jacob. Thank you. So speaking of characters, rivalries, and whatnot, is there a character, Halfbrick or not, that you would absolutely love to see in Jetpack Joyride?
Ooh. I don't know. I always go back to Crash Bandicoot, right? I feel like that'd be really sick, right?
Oh my gosh!
I know it.
Yeah,
that would be so good.
Yeah, but we've also thought about even in terms of doing collaborations and stuff, who would be a really cool hero character to join Barry, right? I'm maybe Mega Man or something. I see could really fit into the lab setting and everything. Yeah, I don't know.
That's true.
There's so many possibilities.
Professor Brains could be is it Dr. Wily? Is that Mega Man's nemesis? Am I right? Something like that. Oh, I didn't think to fact check.
So.
Yeah.
Someone fact check us on the comments, please.
I haven't played Mega Man in over 10 years, so don't quote me.
That's fair. But Brains could be the evil doctor equivalent from Mega Man. Crash Bandicoot's pretty huge. You could get Wumpa instead of coins. And,
dude, yeah. 100%.
I know this isn't real, but yeah, exactly. Or maybe the teleporter in Jetpack. You know how it teleports up and down. It's got the arrow. Maybe you're bouncing between Wumpa crates, and that's how that's implemented. Because you know how in Crash you bounce. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like there is a crazy amount of wacky vehicles in Crash as well. There's so much you could do with it.
Yeah, exactly. We were talking about this in the Discord the other day with Crash Bandicoot with Jetpack, actually. So that's it's just very, very timely. Oh, actually, speaking of the Discord, this is a great chance to jump into the community questions. Right. So we've asked the players in there if they had any questions for you. One's basically answered already. We got the Randalorian, right? And they've asked what exactly will the new engine for JJ provide, so the Unity port, and how far along is it? And can you answer either of those?
Yeah, I can give you I can start with the question, right? Something there are a bunch of benefits of doing it, right? So the most obvious one is we get to clean up the old code base, so we're starting from scratch. So just puts us in a much better position for doing anything in the game, really. So not even just creating content, but also creating new game modes, new functionalities, that kind of stuff. And even in terms of tooling and everything, especially with I don't want to be Sim for Unity or anything, but it is super easy to create new tools and everything. Even sharing stuff across projects, because a lot of the new games use Unity now. Aside from the obvious it's a shared skill set these days in the industry as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, in terms of time frame, I don't want to nail myself to the wall or anything, but I think the hardest part is definitely behind us. So maybe I think we can start sharing stuff in a couple of months. I could confidently say. So
yeah, I've seen you sharing a few little screenshots and videos of the work in the Discord as well, which is pretty cool. So
that does remind me I need to share another funny video of a bug that I found.
Please do.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I'll
share
we
can put that yeah, we can put that Discord links in the link tree in the description, everywhere, by the way. If anyone's listening and isn't in the Discord, there's a Jetpack channel. Jacob's there. He posts funny moments. Well, they're not all funny moments. Some are actually insightful, but most of them end up being funny.
Some happy, some sad.
Some sad, yeah. There's a lot of little quirks, I think. But I think that's given that this wasn't really known apart from some people in the Discord, I think for now, I think that's a fair amount to divulge.
Yeah, it's a pretty big reveal. Thank
Yeah.
you. We have
Pleasure.
another community question, which comes from the Master Dude or Dude. And they say, have you ever thought about adding a jukebox to play all the music from the game? Which is a concept that I love, by the way, because the music in Jetpack is so good. I always say it, but it's so good.
Yeah, so I think it's definitely something that I'm thinking about going back years now. It's definitely something that I know that I've discussed with the audio guys because we have such a again, in games like Jetpack where there's so much content and much of the content is hidden behind events and everything. So if you're a new player, maybe you haven't even seen this content and maybe you've never even seen this really cool music that exists just with this one particular vehicle skin. It kind of I think last I discussed it, it tied into when we're setting up the Spotify and everything. So I know customization is something that we really want to focus more on in the future. I would love to see that. Even in terms of maybe you could have a custom title menu music track or something. So it's not just the default music track, like the orchestral one.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to because we have a bunch of backgrounds and everything as well. Maybe you want to just specify what backgrounds you want to see, that kind of stuff. I would really love the idea of a jukebox though. It'd be really awesome for customization. Absolutely.
Well, the backgrounds are actually another point that the Master Dude in Discord brought up. I just didn't want to bombard you with all of their points.
Yeah, I mean the background one is it's actually it kind of almost is borderline usability because back when we started selling background, if you bought a bundle which
In the
came with
Ultimate.
background, yeah, even going back to Back to the Future, right? If you bought this bundle, you also had that background, and the more backgrounds you buy, the more it dilutes that probability that you might see a particular
right.
background.
Yeah, the less chance they've got to see. Yeah.
Yeah, it all goes into the one pool, right? And there's no way of toggling them yourself. So definitely something that I want to champion for a while.
I think these are the type of things when we have these chats. It's just great to hear that they're aware. That's really all you can ask for when it's yeah, no, the team's thinking about this. Great.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we play the game, so we get all the pain points and everything.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the more niche ones, I suppose.
And the super head starts or whatever we call that double up one.
Or the juicy tips.
Yeah.
Juicy tips. If you had another Easter egg,
oh yes,
come Halloween, equip a skeleton head and equip the hog vehicle, and you'll actually see a an Easter egg for Ghost Rider. It's it's like regular skeleton head on the hog, on the motorcycle, but we actually we spawn a particle effect just for that costume combination. So you'll see fire and stuff going out the back of a skull and everything. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay.
The more you know.
Oh my gosh, this is the most informative episode of the Halfbrick Show yet.
I can't wait for Halloween to come.
No, yeah, that's actually sick. You've been giving us so many cool tips. I almost feel bad to chuck you into this next segment. But we're up to playing Guess the Community Comment. Have you heard this one before, Jacob, at all?
No. I can't wait.
Okay. Well,
no, I don't want to.
Yeah. It's pretty straightforward, obviously, from the name. But on the show, we like to troll through the community, YouTube, most social media, right? And just see if there's any comments. And maybe we grab one, or maybe we make one up ourselves, Carmen and myself, and I'll read it out to you. And basically, you just tell me how well do you know your game player base? Is this a real one, or have Carmen and I made it up? Right.
Okay.
We try to keep it relevant to the game, so this is most likely a Jetpack related comment. But I just, can't tell if it's real or not. All right. Are you ready? Are you?
I'm ready as
it's
ready as I'll ever be.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So the comment is, quote, "I need this for my iPhone." End quote. No emojis. Nothing. Unreal, or is that made up?
I don't know. I feel like that's something you could say about anything, right?
Mm. That's
No
what makes
emojis.
these so good. I love this one.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna say real, because everyone needs
Yes.
Jetpack Joyride on their iPhone.
Okay. You're right. You're right. I've been defeated again. I thought I had you with this one. Ah, okay.
Trick
Congratulations.
question.
Sorry, I'm happy for you. I just lost last week as well, and I thought Trend from Thriller Fight. He knew the YouTube there. This is from the user's called The Reply Helper, and it was on a 7-month-old YouTube video for
Wow.
the Masters of the Universe collab, I believe, for Jetpack. So
Alright,
it was
wow,
Jetpack
okay.
themed. I thought I might have had you because it was 7 months ago. But
I mean, I
that's
had
fine.
a 50-50 chance. It's like,
Yeah. No, it's fine. It's fine. I'll quit. I'll stop. No. Congrats.
We can only hope that they got it on their iPhone finally.
yeah.
That's true. Yeah. I wonder if we ever told them that it is on your iPhone. That's the magic of mobile games. All right. Yeah. Congratulations, Jacob. You've passed the community comment.
Thank you.
Yeah. And now you're in for another very difficult question, which we ask everyone, and which you probably know already, which is, Jacob, where's Dan the Man 2?
Mm.
Dan the Man. I mean, last I checked, Dan the Man 2 was still in Git, I think. So, that's where the code's stored.
So we just got to pull it.
Yeah. A literal answer is yeah, it's in Git.
Huh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No,
Damn,
I
that's
suppose.
technically
Yeah.
the first accurate answer. That's like factually.
that's, yeah, one of our best, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna have to block that answer from ever coming up again with everyone else that we.
It's too good. It's too
Yeah.
good. It's like yeah,
It's too
it's my
good,
ultimate
yeah.
trump card.
It's
Dang it.
indeed. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Final question then. What's one thing that the games industry as a whole has taught you that wasn't in the job description or that you didn't think you'd experience going in?
Ooh. I mean, it depends. You want the good or the bad? Like, I think like
You can give us one of each if you want.
yeah.
Both.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't think it's a secret that the game industry is like super tough, right, to work in. But and I guess like in recent history, there's like plenty of up and downs, right?
Yeah.
But I think maybe that does kind of like prove how like, I mean, one of the running things like in the game industry is like how like insanely passionate and dedicated like everyone in the games industry is. But I think yeah, it's I think for me like it's personally the opportunity for growth like in areas that aren't complete like they aren't actually in your core skill set. It's like for example like in companies like smaller companies like Halfbrick, right? Like in like independent companies like independent devs. A lot of people kind of like end up just becoming closer to like a generalist, I suppose. Like that's something that was like I didn't know was a thing, right? Like to me, it's like, oh, you started to become like an animator, an artist, programmer, or something. And, like that's your role. You know, kind of. You're
Well,
in
did
that
you
role.
come in as QA? Sorry, I don't know if we clarified that back at the start.
Yeah. So I mean, a bit of background for me, right? Like, so I studied as a game designer, right? And like a software engineer, like majoring design, like mine was like software engineering, right? But I started off as QA in Outbreak. And then did like the usual like progression path of like QA design and then like production, did more of production than like project management a bit. So yeah, I mean, you get the whole gamut, right? You get exposed to a lot of different skill sets and I don't know, a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Sick. Well, that's good and bad, I suppose, isn't it? You've touched both already. That's
Yeah.
that's fair. That's fair.
The old twofer.
No, but I think that was a very nuanced answer. And I think that we have had several guests tell us something similar already. So it's good to see that everyone is in the same boat, and yeah, everyone is really, really passionate. So yeah, thank you. And well, we have come to the end of the podcast. You are safe now. We won't bombard you with any more questions. So thank you so much for joining us, Jacob. We know that you are super busy at the moment with the rebuild of the game, and I personally can't wait to see it and also to try all of the tips and for Halloween. So again, thank you so much for coming here and making a bit of time for us.
Yeah, thank you.
for having me. Thank you for having me. Anytime.
If you want to chuck any other Easter eggs in the Discord at any point as well, by all means.
I have a whole pile of them I can share at some point. So
Oh my
many.
gosh. Okay, it's so good. I'm going to try those other ones that this double head start and the I guess I'll wait till Halloween, but that's also sick. Yeah, keep an eye out for more Easter eggs. If you're not in the Discord, join that. Please remember as well that for the podcast itself, we're always open to taking in more ideas for segments, feedback, suggestions. Do you want to hear Easter eggs from other teams, other games? Because that was great. I want more of that from other games.
Yeah.
Email us. Yeah, the show at halfbrick.com is where you can send any things there. We'd love to read them. So
Yeah, we sure do. Thank you so much to you, the listener, as well, for getting up to here. And we hope this has been an episode that you can look back on with nostalgia. Thank you for joining us today. And let's close this episode of the Halfbrick Show. Thank you so much.
Coming up next time on the Halfbrick Show.
we'll test our capability to lie to each other. Invent comments. Because we get a lot of comments on social media, so we'll see. Have I made one that's real, or is it fake?